Talks to try and resolve the crippling strike at South African Airways are underway at the company's headquarters in Boksburg, east of Johannesburg. The Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration is facilitating the meeting between SAA management and striking unions. The strike over wages has already cost the airline 52 million rand. Local and regional flights have been cancelled until Monday. International flights are to resume on Sunday. The National Union for Metal Workers and the South African Cabin Crew Association are demanding an 8% pay hike, while management is offering 5.9%. Other union demands, including the insourcing of workers and the halting of retrenchments at the state-owned entity. Well, earlier, General Secretary of the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, Ivan Jim, said it's possible to save the state-owned airliner.
We think that SAA can be saved and be turned around. We of the view that some in government have taken a view that unless SAA is privatized, there can be no other solution. Our take is that we had a GCO in the form of Vuyani Jachana, who would have engaged on a turnaround strategy. Of course, he has fallen in favor with them. They fought, but he's not dead. The question is, why both unions and him who would have engaged, we cannot be able to engage on what could be done to turn around this airline. So we're coming in basically going to negotiate because CCMA is there. This is a dispute on wages for workers, benefits and conditions. We're of the view that to settle any dispute is going to take parties moving from their position to genuinely negotiate to settle this dispute. But we've got a bigger challenge beyond just wages. That challenge is how do we turn around this airline? In our view, we need an agent meeting with both ministries, both the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Public Enterprise to engage on how the airline can be turned around.
Hopeful to find a resolution, but given the actions from management in the past few days, we're not so hopeful that they're going to come to the party. But we walk in today with the hope that we can avert the strike or to stop it, with an amicable solution. So it's all up to the employer today.
Our reporter Manalisi Dubasa is covering that story for us, and we cross now to him live. Good afternoon, Manalisi. What can you tell us?
Well, the strike continues, obviously, and the workers are out there outside the Cape Town International Airport. They said to me yesterday that they will be striking indefinitely if the management doesn't come up with a solution. There seemed to be a light at the end of the tunnel. If you've heard the bites that you just played, that it looked like the CCMA has invited both parties to come and negotiate a peaceful settlement. But right here with me, a person who would know even better is a chairperson of the aviation sector at NUMSA, Mr. Mbenga. Mr. Mbenga, thank you very much for coming through. Tell us, how far are you now in terms of your negotiations?
Look, we've not moved far. The only thing that SA has done now was to get a commissioner from the CCMA to mediate. So we were supposed to meet at 8:30 today, but we were recently informed that those proceedings will only take place from 2 o'clock now. So we're still waiting to find out if they will yield results or not.
What are the sticking points mainly?
The main point for us is that SAA is selling a narrative, in fact, that they are offering us 5.9%, which in our view is nothing, because they are saying they will only give it to us next year, meaning 2019-2020 we are not receiving an increase, which is their position from the onset. The second thing, we've been calling on SAA to dissolve the board, because our view is that this board has been there at SAA and yet the status of SAA keeps getting worse. What can they do differently now? So we've flagged corruption as well. We've been up in arms saying that SAA must address the corruption corruption. We've even called on the president to intervene and the department, but nobody's doing anything. So when we indicated that we wanted to serve a notice to go on a strike, SAA went to the media to say that they are going to retrench 944 of us. So basically what we're fighting for, we want a decent living wage. This 5.9% that they are offering us only next year, we're not accepting. We are saying we want an increase this year because the cost of living is high. And in 2014, together with the pilots, we took a wage freeze. But the next year, when we got an increase, the pilots were backdated to the previous year, which has cost these people about 100,000 rands on their pension fund. It is against that background that we are saying we are not going to allow SAA to not give us an increase this year.
Well, they say based on their offer of 5.9% that the strike will end at least by Monday. Are you aware of that?
You know, English is very interesting because this 5.9% that they keep telling the public, the condition is that they will only give us next year in April, which in my view maintains their decision not to give us anything this year.
Mr. Mbenga, thank you very much for your time. I can just say that this strike has attracted even some of the workers' parties and the left-leaning parties around the Western Cape. One of those is the Land Party that has joined the strike. I'm with the president of the Land Party right here, Mr. Kobane. Kobane, tell us, what puts you here?
Definitely to stand together with the workers. We believe that it starts from the community. These people are staying in the community, so they deserve better wages. In fact, living wage. So we are saying that the board and the government must pay these workers. They must meet all their demands. We believe that there is a money that is there for the state to pay these workers. Because if you look at the money that is paid in the pilots, directors and other peoples, it's an exuberant amount of money. So we are here to give solidarity and stand together with them because these are our brothers and sisters.
Well, Kobane, I mean, SAA is insolvent basically, which means that it is broke. I mean, there's no money to pay the workers. I mean, why would you say there is money?
Look, the money is there in Kandla. They must start arresting the thief that is in Kandla, the one that stole money through his girlfriend. And after that, there are a lot of people who have stolen money from SAA and other SOEs. So government, Patohi, must be prepared to arrest all these criminals who looted our state. And there is a money. There is a lot of money. Ministers, they must cut their salaries. They must cut, a lot of cost. They are getting free food. I mean, that must come to an end. And they must be able to solve this problem because, I mean, the country now is standstill because of the strike. So this problem must be solved. There is a money that is available. But the money is being looted on daily basis by the ANC corrupt politicians.
Thank you very much. That's Kobane, the president of the Land Party. They didn't manage to secure any seat in parliament. They stood for the election last year. They are here in solidarity with the workers of NUMSA and SACA. And let me take this opportunity now to hand it over to Mbongeni, my colleague. Mbongeni?
Well, thank you very much, colleagues. We are here outside the South African Airways head office where the management is meeting with the unions, the striking unions, NUMSA and SACA, the South African Cabin Crew Association leaders who are, of course, on strike as of yesterday. We understand that since they began meeting this morning under the auspices of the CCMA mediation, they first had to deal with preliminary issues, we are told. And those issues had to do with who is supposed to be in the meeting, is everyone who's supposed to be attending the meeting present? Are they the right people, representing the right people? We are told that why that is important is because in as much as there are two unions who are striking at the moment, there's another union who are part of the deadlock, who are covered by the strike certificate, but they are not striking, and that is the National Transport Movement, a splinter group from Satau. They've been together negotiating with the striking unions, which is NUMSA and SACA, but when it came to actually down in tools, they opted not to join the others in strike action. So apparently this morning when they were meeting, so the issue of the NTM came up that they are supposed to be part of these negotiations as well, now that people have gone back to the table and so on. So apparently that matter has been resolved, a way has been found for them to be part of the current process, and we understand that only from 2 o'clock, which is about 20 minutes ago, they were then scheduled to start getting into the nub of the issues, the substantive issues, which is the demands by the unions and what management is offering, and then of course with the view to see if any compromises can be made by either party towards finding an agreement. It's expected that this meeting, or the current session that should be underway from 2 o'clock, could last into the evening. We wait to see how long it's going to last and what will come out of it. But for now, it's all quiet outside. Everyone is inside. And that's where we believe that only as of about 20 minutes ago, that the parties, that is management and the unions, under the mediation of the CCMA, would have begun to get into the real meat of the dispute, which is the demands and of course the offer by management. For now, it's back to you.
Well, thank you very much indeed. That was our colleague Bongeni Mutwa and Manalisi Dubase giving us updates on the SAA strike. We'll take a short break and we'll be back right after this.